I just released a video basically announcing that I quit live streaming, or at least trying to be a streamer. Today I wanted to talk about how I arrived there, like how I actually came to the decision where trying to make it as a streamer or make it as a content creator is not the path that I want for myself. So, if you've been contemplating quitting or questioning if streaming is right for you, I am not here to help you decide whether or not you should do that. I'm just going to share my experience. If it resonates, feel free to comment. Let me know what you think. If it doesn't, then okay. Thanks for watching. But I wanted to take an opportunity to be very genuine about my path and also just transparent about how I got here. There was a pressure to share everything that I did, and that kind of intersected with playing games, not just for fun, but to market it. But also, again, the intent was just to make something of myself, to try to be successful at something, to try it. I felt privileged and blessed, and still do, with different opportunities and equipment to make this possible. So I'm like, why not? This is the time. I think it's really cool. This is what I'm gonna go for. The moment I realized that live streaming wasn't for me was the moment I started taking a break from Twitter, because I knew it was affecting me negatively. It was so easy to compare myself, and it was so easy to just feel down about myself that I decided to take a break, and I've still been away from the platform for at least a week now. And in doing so, I realized how unhappy that was making me, and how just the act of trying to constantly appease others, trying to market myself enough so that I am worthy of people's attention, to build these relationships, which I really strive to do authentically and just, as genuinely as possible. But building these relationships for the notion of like trying to get more subscribers to hopefully make a living and support yourself, but then also feeding this kind of cycle of staged imagery and trying to put on a show, trying to incentivize people to subscribe, to watch, to be consumed with your content so that supposedly we could both thrive. There's just so many problems with it. But the key that made me stop and question if this is what I want was because of the unhealthy patterns I was noticing via social media, via my consumption of it, via how I was trying my best to be successful at it and failing at it. And then also realizing how that's not only just on Twitter, but also Instagram, and realizing I don't really want to share my day 24/7. I don't want to create things that I think people will want for the sake of trying to gain an audience, or create things that people will need for the sake of building this brand into something that's sustainable. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just to do that with myself, my essence, my looks, my whatever as the forefront. While it's great in theory and it's possible and people do it, for me to do that, it would require a lot of things that are against my very essence that I just cannot partake in. It's really hard because as I talk about this, I already feel uncomfortable because I'm remembering how it feels to do all that. I've recently stopped posting a lot on Instagram and on my stories, and obviously not on Twitter because I'm taking a break. I've just minimized my interactions to Discord, which I think has been really nice so far. It's been a substantial change. I'm blessed also to have my education and to still be studying and to work really hard on my thesis in my last year of grad school, which is also another big thing in itself. So maybe it isn't my time to be a streamer or whatnot, but regardless, I've tried to do this whole streaming gig of trying to make it as a streamer and trying to grow that for like, how long now? 3 years? Shit. That's a long time. Sometimes it's easy to feel down on like, man, it's been 3 years and this is how far I got. But every life situation is different. There's a lot of struggles I had just in general with the whole consistency, the marketing, what my goal was, who I was, creating content for. I think I've just been struggling with it because it's just something I don't want to do. I am so passionate about mental health. I'm passionate about having conversations, but when you muddle that passion with things that actively drain you, for example, for me, it was draining to try to interact with people on Twitter because it just wasn't fulfilling the need that I had, nor was it something that I think was super beneficial. So I think that energy was just sapped, and also the the energy put in trying to take cute pictures so people can, I don't know, remember I exist and want to connect with me more. It's weird, but that's kind of all what it is. I mean, sometimes you just want to take a picture when you're feeling great and you're like, yeah, damn, I look good, let me share this. But then sometimes it's just like, oh, this is part of the job, this is part of the description to make it and to be successful. Fuck, I better do this or else I'm gonna fail, or I'm gonna be failing even harder. It's all for the goal of vanity and for the goal of viewers. Look at me. But of course, more viewers is more people who can potentially sponsor you. But I don't want to be sponsored under that regard. I'd rather be sponsored for my ideas and my thoughts and whatever becomes of Punflower or this brand. I know I still want to create content because I genuinely like it. I want to focus more on my professional endeavors and still do that, but have it be separate from this and have this be more free in me. I just don't want to play that game anymore. If I'm going to succeed, I want to do it on my own way and my own terms, and it will not be traditional, it may not be immediate, it may not be ever, but I've come to peace with that. That's the biggest thing I've learned too. I mean, yeah, the idea of making it as a streamer, having thousands of people watch, I mean, it's kind of cool. The work to get there is a lot. It's not that it's not possible. It's not a matter of laziness. It's just a lifestyle. It's like, what life do you want to lead? What habits do you want to do? Because I do acknowledge every job, every role, everything we do has pros and cons, and some of them are avoidable, some of them are not. I just know that with this current culture, I don't want to do all this. It seems less fulfilling to me. Long story short, I realized how toxic Twitter was to me because I kept comparing myself and feeling shit when I'm on there. Not only just because I saw other people's numbers and questioned my own worth, but also because I literally kept trying so hard to connect with my audience, to reach more people, and I tried to be myself and not care, and even that bugged me. So number one, I realized there was a problem. Number two, as I stopped that, I allowed myself to stop other things that I thought I should be doing, like Instagram stories, Instagram posts daily, interacting with the audience, all the things that are somewhat enjoyable but also somewhat part of the job, if you will. I also realized I didn't like that. The premise of sharing that with a pretty picture or just always inspirational words is kind of a chore. And it's very fake in my opinion, not really what I want to do. And trust me, I've tried blogging before and tried to do that. Still not what I want to do. People do it, great, they can do it. It's nice, it's pretty to look at sometimes. To consume it constantly I think is a little toxic to myself and then also in general, so I'm not going to do it anymore. And number three, after I allowed myself to completely stop all these things, I realized which platforms were beneficial and which ones were not. So far, Discord is great, love it. YouTube I think is good too, but I just can't commit to a schedule as I have announced previously. I just want to create for my own regard and also for others' regard, but just not in the sense of trying to traditionally make it, you know? I'd value the content more than the quantity. That's how I realized this is time to let it go. I just knew that I'm unhappy with this stuff and I don't want to force myself to try to be someone I'm not. And again, I get it. It's part of this job or culture, but does it have to be? Not really. Not every streamer does it, and you know, I don't know, the act of streaming isn't bad, but of course it requires time, it requires energy. If I could spend that time elsewhere and have it be more beneficial, then by all means. If I can't, then I don't know. Life is too short, you know? And it's funny, again, I talked about all these things for tips for streaming, for creating boundaries, for finding your niche, and they're all important things. I think it just requires a very high level of honesty with ourselves, thinking about down the road, is this where I want to be? Is the lifestyle of creating XYZ and doing that for the sake of whatever and disassociating yourself with your brand or your content? Are you able to do that? Will you be happy to do that? Is that something that's going to be fulfilling? Is that your passion? And sometimes I think if we don't have the initial experience of how it is to like talk to hundreds of viewers and I don't know, maintain that consistency, it's sometimes hard to envision it. So I would encourage people to try it if you legitimately want to try and see how it is. Like I did commit myself to a theme, to a schedule. I was super consistent for about a few months. Like honestly, I gave it, I think, my best shot, and it was growing, and I probably could have done it longer. All in all, my priorities have shifted, kind of like how I mentioned when I chose my niche. My priority was like, okay, let me make the most of the time that I have and let's try to make this successful and let's try to move forward. And then it became about, okay, well, I want to take care of myself and make myself feel better and happy. And then it became about actually making myself happy, and now we're here. So I can say that I have been happier. I've been spending more time on different things, different platforms, less wasting my time comparing myself to others, and just more thinking about books that I can read, projects I can do, trying to invest in myself professionally as well, and how I could create work that is meaningful and impactful and could possibly help me with my true goals in life. I just wanted to share this because I know I've been struggling with streaming for a long time, more so in my own self-growth journey and my weight loss and weight gain and weight loss journey. Everything that kind of encapsulates that. It was definitely not perfect, and I understand why. I forgive myself for all the things I've been through. I don't regret any of my experiences. I've learned so much. I'm still streaming, but just I'm doing it for fun and not for numbers. So it's more like if it happens, it happens. And honestly, for my soul, because I'm really sensitive and because I just am not in that place to want to live that lifestyle, it's just the best choice for me. So that's how I arrived to my decision. In efforts to be more of myself, I, again, like I said, will not be posting on a set date every week. It'll be random, but I do want to upload weekly still. I will change some parts of my theme because I do want to embrace the star child that I am versus the flowery child that I'm not. I don't know how to word that. Anyway, so expect some changes. You'll probably see our new logo already. I'm so proud of that. It's so cute. If you want to stick around, sincerely, I appreciate it. You don't have to. Legit, I just keep trying to tell people, like, we don't owe each other anything. You don't have to apologize for XYZ. It's just life. We're just doing our thing, trying our best, and just gonna keep doing that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of our community and our space. You can connect with me on Discord. Literally the most active platform I'm on. That's about it. So I'll see y'all next time.